the Elven Tavern, the review of the set. Well, there it is, right in front of you. It is now finished, complete, and in many ways stunning. So where should we start? As I said, the set itself is the Elven Tavern, and it is from Baka, and it is a new series that they are releasing of around about 8 or 9 different modulars that will all come together to form one modular, and it is called the Twilight Valley series. Now, funny name considering this is Lord of the Rings, but nevertheless, you know, copyright with names and stuff like that, I get it. The Baka Set number is 33238. The set itself is a 14 plus set, I'll come to that later, and the piece count is 2,859 pieces. Now, before I start discussing dimensions, I will go on a little bit about the build time of the set. From start to finish, it took me just over 15 hours. Now, that may seem a long while for the number of pieces, but once you get to the end of this set, especially the last 2 sections, 7 and 8, which I'll come to in a minute, that is where a good deal of the time of this set was spent. But that is getting too far a front, so let's get started. So the start of this set, Bags 1, Parts 1, the first build was this beautiful fountain, absolutely stunning, fish designs, look at that, it looks absolutely cracking, really good, really enjoyable. And then the next little build we did was the boat. Now the stickers are great, the colours are very good, they almost match the brick colours, which I think is fantastic. The same with the flag on both sides, it matches that plastic colour. You can't beat that. I think it's brilliant. The boat itself, well, there's some like nice little arty bits. I like the shaping of the awnings, the rudder at the back, blah blah, absolutely fine. Once that was done, along with, like I say, the fountain, sorry, it was all about doing the plate itself. This is what I'm on about now, the actual grey base plate. And basically we just made up a solid middle base plate. If you've watched the videos, you'll know where I'm coming from. Once that plate was made, we then made the side pieces here, and they just click into place. Nice idea, it works, and everything is fine. Once that was done, we then started to build up a second plate. You can see the sand coloured on top of the grey coloured, and this is ready for the foundations of the tavern. So once, as I said, that was done, the actual plate itself, we then started to tile. Now again, I'm not going to take the roof off or anything like that, because it's only going to fall apart if I do it. But if you want to have a look, if you've not seen the other videos, just go back to videos, I believe it is 4 and 5, but just check for yourself and you'll see the actual plating, and then you'll see the insides of the tavern. The floor plating was nice, the things inside, little cupboards and stuff like that, chairs, little table, all for drinking in the tavern. And then we slowly but surely began to build up the tavern. Of course, it was the building first, and there was no decoration on at that point, there was no windows, it was just the actual building itself. Once the building there was complete, then we started to put in the other things. Nice side decoration, look at the flowers, look at the side buildings, look at the windows. you can actually see into the building. You can see a bottle. Oh, I'm impressed. That's quite good. And then this went all the way around. The lovely side decoration, the doors. You can see the little crab thing there, whatever I call it, the crab. The actual side decorations, the poles. It was fine. The building absolutely clicked into place brilliantly. No problem with it. Put signs on there. You can see the tavern for the tavern, the beer barrel. And then we started with the roof. Now, the idea of the roof is fine. The thing that I thought these tiles would fall off, they would be flimsy, and that would be the problem. I saw another YouTuber who built this set, and he'd remarked how flimsy certain parts of the set was, and I'd expected it to be the tiles. It was not the tiles at all. Underneath both roof sides and the mirror images, you actually build up this section, then this section, and they click together. These two parts come on later, one for this and one for that. Once you've got both sides of the roof, which you can see there, that's a nice shot actually, then you put a centre pole with attachments to both sides of the roof. Now the idea is pretty good, but the actual fact of attaching that main beam that goes along is another matter, because as soon as you apply pressure, then one part comes off. Remember, it's made up of two parts each side, so it's very hard to get the pressure on to make this beam fit. Once I actually did it, trial and error, took a little bit of time, but we did it. Then we had the problem of bringing the roof to the building, and what I basically did, I had to deconstruct slightly, where they say build it all up and put it to what the actual standing structure that goes on each side. I do show it in the video. But what I actually did was built it actually into the roof and then fitted that and the structure back to the tavern. It was a lot easier. Things didn't fall off so much. That was the way to do it. Once the roof was on, like I say, I was not going to mess about with it. Decorations obviously went on, the little handcuff signs. And then we put these side awnings here. Nicely looking. We like how they look. We like the long swoops, brilliantly done. Nice sides. They just push it on an axis that is connected to that top beam at the top. Same for the other side. We had a missing piece, which I will show you. You can see right in the middle there, that lovely green piece there. If I come round to show you the other side, it is missing. But that's just the way it is. No good crying about it. I'll find a piece that will hopefully cover that later, and we'll have no problems. Once those two side pieces were on, then it was about doing the decoration here of the sides of the tavern. And as you can see, they're in place. They're not, I would not say they're 100% level, but they're close to it, and you know, I'm happy with it, which is the main thing. I will spin it round and show you the other one just for the sake of it, just so as you get that look of how it looks. It is, like I say, the design is wonderful. Whoever the actual designer of this set was, he's done a great job. It just needed a little bit more thought, as in the structure of this here, about going to, if there's a way of strengthening those pieces up, it would have been fantastic. And I'm sure with time you could mock it out and do it and there'd be no problems. But once the actual tavern was done, the roof was on, the sides was on, quite happy, and then it was just about decoration. And we had, like I say, we've got the actual plants, we've got the shrubs, we've got, as you can see there, the bow and arrow. We've got the target there for the practice of the bow and arrow. We've got the barrel. We've got a shovel, you know, and then we've got more flowers, more toadstools. We've got a well. slight problem with it, well, where it didn't actually fit on correctly with the handle, but it's on now, it's up, it's running, it's fine, and I'm happy with it again. Once all that groundwork was done, the next thing we had to do, and I'm going to spin around and get it in the order, or try and get it in the order, was the trees. And we started off with that tree, we build up the two halves, stick the leaves on, and a job's a good one, as we say. Once that tree was down, we went to this one, we made it up in two parts, yellow pieces on. I thought there was a few pieces missing, the little branches that you can see where the yellow leaves come from, but I was wrong, I couldn't count, so that was really stupid of me. That was a Kev error. That tree went on, and then finally, if I just whiz round, we did this tree here, which you can see nicely built up from the floor, clicks on, totally different shape. Love the little green flowery things. I think that does show everything really, really nicely. So once the trees was on, everything was great, and then all we got to do was the gazebo. So part 8 is the gazebo and the little bridge. And again, as I started, you start to build up this piece first. It was okay to begin with. The actual middle section of the gazebo, I don't think it was flat. Whether that's me or whether that's the set design, I don't know. As I said to you before, the other YouTuber who has just reviewed this set, not as in depth as me as in the build, but a nice review nevertheless, you can look for it. He also said how fragile the roof and the gazebo was, so it's not just a me problem. I do struggle with small pieces, I'll hold my hands up with that straight away, but I still think it looks okay. I'm quite happy with how the gazebo looks. We actually built it up and managed to get it into one piece. That was lovely, that was okay, I was fine with it. We then made up the legs, and this is where we have the problems. Attaching the legs to the actual top of the gazebo, any pressures, and obviously something pops off. I deconstructed, I then put the legs to the ground first, to the plates, and then tried to put the gazebo on top, the top of the gazebo. That didn't work either. So I took off again, I put the legs on again, I made sure everything was as well pushed as I can. I had some minor collapses in the middle of the gazebo, which I don't care about. It looks okay, that's good enough for me. I'm not going to fiddle and fight with it, as they say. And I then slowly but surely put these feet into their prospective places. And you can see there, I'm going to show it, there is a gap, and I dare not press that down, because I think if I press it down, then this entire side here is going to come off. So it is what it is. Once it was in place, once everything was fine, the last thing we actually did to the gazebo as in such, we got the nice little build inside, which I did forget to show you, with the actual thing on it. And then we did this little decoration top, which looks good with the blue one. I must admit, I like that. Colours shine nice, and that is it. I am going to show, I do like the tavern sign, I do like it, 1954 for the ale, the barrel of beer, excuse me. Absolutely brilliant. So once the gazebo was up and in place, the last thing we did was the little bridge. There it is, little build, we build up the stone setting first, add the bridge, and it connects, as I showed you, by just one stud. And that was the end of the set. That was it, totally and utterly complete, finished. And as I say, it took me all in all around about 15 hours or just over. Without the roof and the gazebo itself, I think it would have been done, I don't know, maybe 12 hours. I don't rush my builds, I think I've said that before, but just the fiddliness, the actual, well, it's actually the stresses and strains of when you're having multiple collapses on different parts and you're doing it as you should do it. You can only follow the instructions and do what the instructions say. The only alternative is, like I've said before, is you would knock it out. You would definitely reinforce the top of the tavern roof so as it's held all together in one piece better. And I don't know what I would do with the gazebo, whether, I suppose the only way you could really keep the gazebo together would be to glue it. And it would be an absolute travesty to glue those pieces into place, and there's no way I would do it. And as I say, within that, the 15 hours, the price of the set, I think the price of the set was round about, if I remember rightly, £65, £75, and then the postage was on top. So for the piece count again here, which is 2,859 pieces, I had the set with the box, and I've got a feeling everything, it came to just over £100, I think, 100 English pounds. I think it's 104, and I think that's a great price for a great set. I actually bought this set from Barweir. I am not an affiliate or anything like that. That's just where I buy my sets. So if you fancy a crack at this set, if you'd like to buy this set, you can have a look there, see how they've got it displayed, see their prices, whatever. Check out your other sites, your other stores. That's what I say. I'm not an affiliate with them. It's just they're my go-to buying place at the moment, and everything comes really, really quickly and securely, and they're a trusted shop in my opinion. There you go. As to the actual age of the set, they've got it down as a 14 plus. Yes, I think a good 14-year-old could do this set. I mean, there's no doubt with the boats, the actual thing there, the fountain, the actual flooring work, the actual build-up of the building, again, no problems. Roof, I think you would need assistance. Gazebo, you will definitely need assistance. I could have done with assistance myself, how about that? And that's me saying it. But it is what it is. And like I say, everybody's different. Everybody who builds is different, so you just take it from there. And finally, there was 8 steps, 8 multiple bags, 4 or 5 bags in each section, and it was great. I had a couple of missing pieces, as I've said, the one tile up there, the other one that I can't really remember, which I managed to replace. So all in all, the job's a good one. Do I think this set is worth the money? Yes, I do. Was it enjoyable to build? Yes, it was, up to a point, until I got to the roof and the gazebo. Is there anything I'd do differently? Like I say, if I had the time and the patience, I would mock up the roof so as it stood together better, and I would see somehow about getting that gazebo in a better state than it is, although it's okay for me. Other than that, I think it's a lovely set. I think it looks good. The quality of brick is good. The quality of the build plans is good. Like I say, no real negatives about, unless you count the fragility, is that a word, of like the roof and especially the gazebo at the end. But we've got there, it's up, it's a lovely set, it's worth a watch. And like you say, if you like Lord of the Rings, you've got patience and you're willing to put it together, you've got the space, it's well worth the money. So there you have it. I'm going to leave it there. It's been a lovely, lovely, lovely time building this set. I have enjoyed it, there's no doubt about it. Yes, I've stressed and strained, but at the end of the day, it's been quite a good build and set. In regards to what's coming next, I've got no idea yet, but we'll see, and you'll see that in the day that comes, whatever we decide to build. If you have enjoyed this review. I hope you have. I hope it's been informative to everybody. I try and tell you all how I see it and how I've worked with it, how I've built it. I can only tell you my experiences. Yours might be better. You might build it better than me. It is what it is. Thank you very much, and if you do, please give us a thumbs up. Yes, hit that like button to say you've enjoyed it, and don't be frightened to drop a few comments in the box what you think of the set. What do you think about the fragility of the set, about the roof and the gazebo? What do I think of the look of the set? As I say, the one thing that I would add as well is minifigs. A couple of minifigs would have made this a lot better, I believe. Maybe they'll do that in the future, maybe not. And if you want to follow us to wherever that next set is going to be tomorrow, please click on that subscribe button. And finally, like I say, anybody who has managed to watch through this review or any of the other videos for that matter, I hope it's been a worthwhile watch for you. Like I say, it's been an interesting build. It's been enjoyable and stressful at different points, but it's up now, it's done, it's finished, and I'll put it somewhere nice and safely when I get round to building part 2 of the set. Yes, the second part's already here. Obviously we want to do a couple of different other bits so as we mix things up for the channel and for myself. You know, we don't want to get too stuck onto one thing all at the same time. And thanks for watching, much appreciated. With that, you know what I'm going to say. My name's Kev, I am Square Ghost, and I'll see you all on the flip side.